Hi, David Paul here. Let's do a quickie, just a little quick update on how things are going on here on the cabin. Um, I've done a lot of digging out, massive amount of digging out here, and it doesn't seem maybe a lot to people, but you know, you got to bear in mind this is a 70-year-old man digging away every night, filling this barrel, this bucket here, and tipping it outside. It's very compacted, hard soil, this. Anyway, I've got all this area here. I'm sitting up on top of the bed at ground level where I used to be, and now I'm creating a new ground level which is lower. The exterior of this cabin is actually much lower than this, so there's no question of it ever flooding or anything like that. And what I would like to do is to put an exit through there, like a pipe, to allow things like gas, if I had a gas leak, or carbon dioxide to drain out. So that's a terrible job to do, really, because I've got to dig it all out, put the pipe in, and then fill it all back in again. That's heartbreaking, but never mind, it's got to be done. Okay, so sitting here, I see the full extent of what I've got. I've got all this space, which has all got to be mined out. And so it's becoming more spacious in here. And with these temporary shelves here, they're taking up material which is just lying around on the floor. So therefore, you know, it's creating space for me to be down here. And I can walk around in this, and I don't have to be ducking like when I first built this thing, I was walking around like a monkey. It was even lower than this. I jacked this up a bit, this A-frame, but I was down to kind of like here, and it was incredibly stressful on the back and neck and everything, and very claustrophobic. So I don't get those night panic attacks anymore, because it's not so cooped up, and I don't have that tarpaulin over me at night, which is also stuffy, and you feel like you're suffocating. The rain has stopped, so there's very little chance that it would rain and a drip might come in where I'm sleeping. And I woke up this morning and the sun is shining through this tarpaulin, and I come up with a clever idea. I kind of like the way the terrain, the natural fall of the land follows a sort of contour like this. And I'm thinking I might actually put windows in here so that when you wake up, the sun comes up around about there. As we get more towards the summer, the sunrise will be a little bit further over that way. So that's an ideal place to put a window. And it's quite light and airy in here. It's really good. So what I'm thinking is I'll put a load of windows in there, and then I'll create a sort of shelf that sticks out with vegetation over it. And then when I leave the cabin and I close it up, what I'll do is I'll just have it where that hinges down and close it off like that. And then all the vegetation's hanging over the top and nobody'll ever see it. As I say, nobody's bothering me down here. Nobody's gonna bother me down here. And as the weeds grow up and it all closes in, you don't even know it's here. So why worry? So today I'm going to saw logs in the forest to improve this bed. This is just a camp bed, but I'm going to utilize this as the base for a log bed. I'm going to tension these against this edge because it's starting to collapse in. The bits of steel work is very poorly made, which are starting to collapse. So I'm going to tension this and fix it up and reinforce it and everything with logs, and it'll be like rather like a settee. I'll have arms here at both ends, and so it'll be a nice big comfortable settee. And I've also got my old bed, a camp bed, which I'll use as an actual settee. So this bed here that I'm sitting on will be going over there. In this location I'll have the fire, that's for sure. And hang on, the fire, the bed, and over that area I'm going to have a long shelf which will be the kitchen area, a really big, luxurious, massive preparation area for doing stuff like food and things. So because I've enjoyed the luxury of having this preparation space to cook food on. So if that was all wider and longer and more tidy and everything, that would be fantastic. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be standing over there. I'll be able to look out a window. It'll be terrific. The roof parts, this cross part here has to be moved to here, so I'll put that in temporary there, and this is ready for the reception of the large log that's going to go in here. I've got a couple of potential candidates for that job. So a large log to go in here. And what else? And the logs at all the apexes of the hexagon, and that's that. Now the big problem here, although actually I've just had an idea. I'll just get down and then you can see how much lower I am. So now I'm down and I've got standing room. I've got 2 inches above my head. So I'm not going to bang my head here, just can't do it. I'm moving my head side to side. It's impossible to bang my head on a beam, and I don't feel like an uncomfortable feeling like I'm possibly going to bang my head. It's just not there. So therefore that's good enough for me. And either side of it, of course, this is now, you're looking at 6'4" to the peak here, to the top. So even if a really tall person came in here, they would not bang their head either. They just have to watch the central beam. Okay, so all these sandbags full of earth are all holding position really good. That wall there has to be dug back a bit further. I think the sandbags are okay, but the wall below it has to be cut back. So that'll provide looser material which I can use to fill the remaining bags, earth bags I should say, which will close up the entrance here. What else? Oh yes, the big issue at the moment is this massive big island of earth that the bed is standing on, because I've mined away around it. That stove, I'm using that stove at night. It's still nice to have, you know. You can get a little bit chilly, and I'm not using it all the time, but now and again I put it on. Last night I put it on. It was beautiful in here. It was really homey. So what have I got to do? I need to mine that away, and I need to lower it down. I need to find the extension pieces which will extend the flue. Otherwise I'll have the flue inside the cabin, and that's not going to work, is it? But in addition to that, I've also got to get rid of this island of earth that the bed is on. Now wouldn't it be nice if you just had kind of like an elevator and the bed could just go bzzz downwards? Well, that I don't have such an elevator, and it's not possible, so it's not happening. So is there another way I could possibly do that? Yes, possibly. As I said in my last film, this is starting to collapse at the edge here. So what I've done is I've put this board across, and that's taking a downward load, and it's not going to collapse anymore. So what I need to do is at the other end put another one of those boards there, and possibly something in the center. So the idea is that what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll dig away all the earth, and then I'll dig away underneath the boards, and I'll dig away under the board at the other end and the one in the middle, and that will cause the bed to start going downwards, and it'll achieve that effect of like as I say, as if I had an elevator and the thing was just going downwards. That is the only way I can see to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to get into serious. I'm going to have to strip this out and do it all in one go. And I don't have the work capacity to do that. I don't know who has. I don't even know if a 20-year-old could do all this work. I think they would get worn out, you know, at the end of the day. So that's the best way. So each day is if I just mine away. Now the bed could maybe each day maybe go down 2 inches, 3 inches, something like that. And then psychologically, of course, that's much better for me because the ceiling is quite oppressive. It's rather coffin-like to sleep here with the ceiling just above your head. I can actually reach up and touch the ceiling with my hand. So I think that's too close. Well, it's too close for me. I'd rather not be like that. So, solution, keep going downwards, downwards, downwards. And then once it's down, then I have more freedom to move around the area, negotiate various parts. At the back there, there's quite a lot. When that wall is trimmed off, there's about 2 to 3 feet of extra space back there, which will be accessible. Well, certainly 2 feet of extra space accessible over there, which is helping the internal spaciousness. Now, an awful lot of thought went into building into the dimensioning of this cabin. So I have on the roof, I've got this tarpaulin which is 5 meters by 4 meters. So the plan was to make it one tarpaulin wide and one long. So the hexagon, the narrow parts of the hexagon, one straight piece to another, is 4 meters. So it runs 4 meters across, and that's I think it's 2.3 each way, or if you like 4.6 point to point on the dimensions of the apexes, the points of the hexagon, and that's it. And that's where I'm just calling it quits there, because otherwise, you know, what am I building, an aircraft hangar here or what? This is only a crash pad for the UK when I come back, you know. And the bigger I make it, the more problematic it gets for keeping it warm in the winter time. Yes, I can insulate it and all that, but let's just keep it simple, you know. And it's a fine balance between being having enough space and also being cozy. So you want to feel cozy, but at the same time you don't want to think, oh, I feel cozy, and then in the middle of the night waking up with panic attacks because you're feeling claustrophobic. The panic attacks of last year, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it in previous videos, but I think that was being caused last year by a very poor diet and being extremely low in vitamin D, because I watched an account of a man who was having this problem on the internet and cured it by, you know, he went to the doctor and he found he was at 20, which is an extremely low level. And so he took the vitamin D and the panic attacks went away, and now he's feeling fine. He's off the vitamin D at the minute, and I put a note on saying I think you should go back on it, because you don't want to go back there. You don't want to go there again. So anybody having panic attacks, get your vitamin D level checked. And that's it. So I got this area to mine out as well. That chair there collapsed last night. It's had it. It cost me £25 from Decathlon, and it's the one thing that I've ever got from Decathlon that has failed me. But to be honest, it's had some tremendous abuse. You know, it's not a normal life that it's had with me. So I think that's going to the tip. I could say, oh, I'll use the materials and I'll build this, that, or the other, but let's not. Let's just chuck it, because everything I fabricate, I make out of wood anyway. And you know, you make things out of wood, And then you don't generate rubbish when you make things out of wood, because if you say, right, I've had it with this thing, I don't want the damn thing anymore, well, what do? You just put it on the fire. Sew it up and put it on the fire. The ultimate building ecologically friendly material, wood. And that's it, nothing more to say, nothing to see here. Catch you later. So, atilago, makita tayo sa kana. Bye for now. Jesus be with you.